Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Check out what I have got for you. I've got a very bald guy here on the right. See him? He doesn't really have too much hair. On the top left, I have Kings Gambit Accepted Rapid Arena. These two go really well together. Bald guy, Kings Gambit. Look at together what they produce. Look at that, some really awesome chess games. And the crooked smile is coming. The guy is getting excited. Look, oh, the joy and the crooked teeth. Oh, check that out, man. This is real deal. And then it gets better. He keeps on playing and winning chess games. He gets really excited. So excited, in fact. Wait for it. That he starts the crooked smile again. In fact, he has done it already. Oh, that's it. We missed it. Watch those arms to shoot up in the air in a second after completing his text message. Yeah, he's thinking about it. He's thinking about bringing the rook in. A sideways look, pretending to think. But in fact, checking his phone again. He's very distracted. And then he notices the queen sack. Check that out. Oh, yes. He has got it, doesn't he? Except he is a complete tool because he recorded all that for you so that he could publish it on his YouTube channel right here. Except there was no sound on. Yes, baby. No sound. So my best video with the most epic checkmates that I recorded live is basically useless. So here I am now, going to show you some of the masterpieces that I have produced. I have to say, in case it wasn't totally obvious to you, that I thoroughly enjoyed the competition, which for the first time in history in like a million years I managed to actually win, despite of the fact that I entered the 1.5 hour competition with a half-hour handicap. And some of the best games I produced are now here at your disposal. I only picked the white ones, although I did have a few good games as black too. So all games started off from King's Gambit Accepted, continued by G5. So there was a chance for Muzio, double Muzio, more on that a little bit later, and just in general for a whole heap of fun. And then I got this C6 move twice. And here during the game I was thinking to myself, I should be really playing knight e5 here because f7 is really hanging, and if bishop takes, pawn takes, this pawn is now shut down. I'm gonna come in queen d6, back rank fest. Oh, yummy. And for some weird reason then I thought, yeah, he has got d5 and it's not good. And actually d5 is the best move for black there, but it's totally fine for white. Instead I went g3 because I remembered my very first chess coach about almost 30 years ago teaching me a really fun line in the King's Gambit. Believe it or not, that was one of my first go-to openings, where there is this motive that after takes we castle, and that's exactly what I did. And in the game I thought that this was just total rubbish and lemon and whatever, and afterwards I checked with the engine, and it turned out that here after takes, which happened in the game King h1, which was the concept of this whole shebang, white is already better. Just so that you understand what line I'm talking about. So in the King's Gambit there is a so-called Cunningham Gambit where they play bishop e7 with the idea of a check here. And I think theory considers white's best here, bishop c4, at least if not best, about the most exciting line. And then after check you play g3, they take, you castle, they take and you hide the king on h1. And now these two are very awkwardly relying on each other, and there are lots of nasties incoming on f7. A super fun variation for those who fancy the King's Gambit. So I thought, fine, I will enter that. I'll play g3. If d5, g4 comes, then knight e5 is even better because I'm hitting two things. So I took the pawn, I castled, and hereabouts I thought that my position is pretty rubbish. Once they manage to castle, I will be fine. They will be fine. But hey, this is the King's Gambit, right? They are not meant to castle. So I played queen e2. This was the only game that I played where I was fully convinced that I was clearly worse, where in fact I was a lot better throughout the whole game. He played knight e7, the move I feared. I took, and this was the point when I felt that something went out of hand. I played rook e1, the correct move, strengthening the pin. And at this point I thought to myself, bugger, after knight c6 d5 they have bishop g4, and I have got nothing. And I was calculating my backside out, No wonder where I moved the queen, I thought to myself, bishop takes f3 check and I'm dead. Except, doofy, if you go to g2, then bishop takes f3 is not a check and you just win the game because the king indeed did not end up managing to castle. And I totally missed this. So I here went into a very speculative piece sacrifice with bishop takes g5, which I thought was just dead lost, and I'm just trying to pull a few tricks here. So the idea is that now the rook is defended, so if bishop check I take back and he can't take the rook. Right? But I thought that, yeah, surely I'm gonna die here. Afterwards it turns out it's still dead equal. He took, I took. King F, and here was the mistake that I shouldn't have taken it like so. I needed to take back like this. Whereupon the knight hangs, and I've got a number of discoveries in stock. Apparently, according to computer, best line goes like this. Takes, and then no takes, check because counter check. Oh, maybe yes. And it fizzles into a draw, like that. But I saw none of that. I went with the check. And then I brought the rook in, which I thought was playing in the spirit of the King's Gambit, because I still wanted to dominate the board with my superior development. And this was the point where I got very excited about this check. For the totally wrong reasons, by the way, because my plan was that at this point, I actually wanted to sack this. Yeah, I got carried away just a little bit. Not too much, just a little bit. Thinking that after takes d6 check king here, rook g2 check, all of a sudden he is in severe trouble, and it looks like this is at least a draw, but I can look for more. In reality I can't. Or if he goes out here, then he may get mated like that. So yeah, like I said, just a teeny bit I got carried away, and I really would have liked you to see me play this because, and I did say that in the video, I haven't enjoyed playing chess so much like during this comp. I can't remember last time when I had this much fun. And honestly, admittedly, I'm very competitive and I won every single game I played. And that definitely did contribute to my having fun. But I really enjoyed the process of the games. I just enjoyed being in there. And it just felt cool. So I don't want to sound fake. I did love the fact that I won everything. But there was also a tremendous joy of the build-up phase, the getting to the win. And yeah, all up, it was just... yeah, I haven't had that much fun for a long, long time in chess. In competitive chess, that is. Anywho, luckily my opponent didn't allow this nonsense. Because, by the way, after king g8, rook takes f7, king takes f7, d6, king e8, I've got nothing. Because there is no mate here. I can't do a discovery because the rook is hanging and I'm a rook down. So, GG. And so, luckily the dude, who was, by the way, 2100. Can you see that? Am I on analysis? Oh, wait. No, that doesn't help. Neither does that in terms of what was best, but at least I leave the engine on for you. Yeah, the guy is 2100. So he goes king e8, and I'm like, oh baby, that's not good. d6, which is also inaccurate, but very pretty. The idea is that if either knight gets captured, then I have got a beautiful mate. Check that out. Ta-da. Turns out better move was rook e3. Same idea, the rook can't be taken. And yeah, there are lots of dirties coming. So he goes a6, a very lame mover, honestly, to stop this mate. But it's difficult to defend a position like this, for sure. Rook c8 would have been far better. And ta-da, in we go. And at this point I saw the mate. And that's why you saw my face there getting onto a crooked smile, because he d7 mate is threatened. For the record, this is not the best move. Takes is. But I just couldn't let go of this mate motif of playing d7. And I saw that after rook d8, if he makes one mistake, which I expected, then there is a beautiful mate. And that's exactly what happened. I took, and in the game I said that here his best chance is to play knight d4 to attack this bishop. A computer disagrees, the computer wants bishop e5. And for the record, I would like to stress that this is totally 100% winning for white. Like, no hope whatsoever. But he actually fell for my intention. He took the bishop, and after rook c7, there is no way to stop the mate. hence the hands shooting up in the air. He gave me a check, and here I needed to be a little bit cautious still. I decided to... Actually, I was inaccurate. King h3 was the best. I came back allowing another check, and then he gave up because... Mate, next. So that was how I started pretty much in between black games. Usually I just converted the black games without too many dramas. I just hung on to the pawn, finished development, and they just didn't know how to attack. That was basically the black sides, and that's why I didn't choose one of them. Or any of them, in fact. This one is my favorite. Check this out. He plays c6. Again, for some weird reason, I'm not playing knight e5 still. I was really oblivious to this, even though I actually had the idea in my head. So I guess that doesn't make sense, but most of the times, stuff I do doesn't. So here I really regretted my h4 because I'm like, bugger, how do I continue this? Because there is a motif here when take, rook takes, and then knight e5 is played in some variation, I don't recall, where after d5, queen h5, we have mate and attack this. I had a vague recollection of this, but then again, queen f6 covers both, and then bishop f7, queen f7 doesn't yield enough, so I didn't want to engage with this, and then I thought, okay, I'll play g4, after which I would expect g3, and I would expect g4, right? At which point I'm gonna sack a piece and turn it into a really awesome King's Gambit like so. And quite frankly, I wouldn't mind playing this in a long time control game. I have faith. This looks quite intimidating. It's total central domination, full development versus nothing. And I honestly don't remember the computer's assessment. So now, hold your breath. Drum roll, please. Slide facepalm. We are dead. But I thought I was awesome. And this is a little bit of a criticism, I guess, of the Morphy era, that they would have entered this in a heartbeat. Knight f6 is annoying, mostly because I can't castle here without allowing bishop g4. So e5 is the move I would be playing here as white. And according to the engine, this just reigns on my party big time. Queen sack, no? Take. No. No, sure? Surely this is not good enough? Bugger, if they didn't have queen d4 here, I would I would still be, like, look at it, it's only -3. With a queen sacked for a piece. And there's another piece hanging with checks. So it was not a totally stupid idea. Wow, man, that's just cool. Like, imagine that if they didn't have checks. So what's the second best? Rook g7 is only marginally better for black here. Holy cadoodle, one piece for the queen, and yet only minus... That is awesome, man. Look at that line. I didn't even see this in the game. Queen back, rook check here, bishop e5, and oh no. Oh, it's bishop f8. What's the difference? Why is bishop e5 so bad? 97? Oh, yeah. 97 attacks the piece. So bishop f8, and not a lot can move. I love that. Anyway, so yeah, that was the plan. And in fact, the game did follow this. And he played here queen f6. And now, boy, he is going down. I played e5. Castles would have been probably a tad more accurate, but same story, really. Knight e4. Threatening knight d6 check. Again, note the insane contrast between development, back rank fest. He took e5 as expected, and I just casually castled out of it. And it's just too late now. He can't possibly survive the storm. He took, I took back, and again the check is so powerful. I wonder what I would have played here against this. Is there some cute queen sack again? No? 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 Yeah, I can't really sack a queen in every single line, right? That would be unjust. Rook f1, and then the attack on the f. Or, I suppose not on the f will break through. So maybe I would prefer queen e3 here. With the idea of taking the knight d6 check. Yeah, that's it. So he took, I took back. And roughly, this was the point when I felt that this is gonna be good, man. I played knight d6, and then I swung to c3. Again, note the back rank fest. Queen c3 is a big fat tempo. Hitting the rook on h8. f6. And the queen comes back now to renew the mate threat there and there. Knight e7. And now I saw the sack. Check this out. Rook g1. Queen h3. And ta-da! This is when the hands shot up in the air again. Queen e7. Queen Saccarino, baba. Bring on the Queen Saccarino. Now that's nothing to sneeze at. Forced mate takes check. And unfortunately here he walked into the silly mate, the easy mate, by playing king d8, allowing knight takes double check, and then rook mate. Now, yes, it was a 10-minute, you know, rapid or whatever game. I'm still pretty proud of it. I think you should take joy of games like this where you really feel like you are good old Paul Morphy in a new skin and a new body with the same brain. I think every chess player needs to experience the joy that comes when you play an awesome attack. Now, for the record, the nicest finish would have been king f8, which allows check here. And this is where the real sneaky needs to come. I love this move so much. Knight f5. Absolutely awesome. White doesn't even try to utilize the battery because there is no way to exploit it well enough. And rook g1 is met by bishop g4. And so we go knight f5, which introduces a new mate threat and a new mate threat. And the two can't be dealt with. So basically that's it. Absolutely breathtaking stuff. I somewhat regret that it didn't happen in the game, but still, boy, this was good fun. This is really, really good fun. So that was next game. Then the next white was this, which was admittedly very easy. Hang on, which one am I showing here? That one, that one. I don't remember. Oh, yeah, I do remember this. So that was the tail end of the competition. And there was a 5-minute gap between the end of the tournament and my next lesson. And it wasn't even an online lesson because then I could have asked my student to wait for me. Not that I like to do that, but 5 minutes is not the end of the road. But we're talking about Canberra winter, 5 degrees, raining cats and dogs. And I know that the kid comes 6 o'clock on the dot out there. So I had to be out there by 6. And the tournament was meant to finish at 6:05 or so close to that. So every single game I played, I was like, oh, will I have time to finish it? So at this point, I went like, yeah, sure, I need to play the double Muzio here. This is the Muzio Gambit, when after g4 you castle. What I totally forgot about was the fact that the double Muzio is actually not bishop takes f7 by any means. It's queen takes f3, and if they play here, or is it? Oh no, actually I think I'm right. Is it after queen? No, it's actually now. No, never mind. I think I did the right thing, but I will look it up. Okay, how do you do that book thing again? Yeah, bishop f7 is book, right? No, it's not. Okay, that's a bit embarrassing. So after queen f3, queen f6 is bishop f7 either move? Oh boy. This is so embarrassing. Anyway, I'm not going to look up now what move the double Muzio is. But for me, double Muzio looked like this. Bang. And I'm like, bring it on, baba. I'm coming for you. And I remembered vaguely that there was a line in the double Muzio which looked like this. Queen f6, e5, queen e5, d4, queen d4, bishop e3. And now this can't be taken because of the pin. Morphy won 75,000 games like this. So I'm definitely sure that that is correct. I just don't know the move order, how white should get there. Anywho, so I'm going like, yeah, let's go gank ho because that's what you do. He plays knight f6 and I'm like, oh, dang it. What do I do now? Which is, again, quite a testament to, yes, Morphy was an absolute genius and absolutely out of everybody's league, like by 5 million kilometers. But every man in his dog played queen f6 against him here, which is not the best move. Played e5 for a want of a better move. Dude develops. I'm like, whoa, boy, this is gonna be rough. He takes, and I play knight c3, trying to get one of these in. He plays knight e5. I was delighted to see that. I was more worried about some further developing moves. So I'm like, especially because I knew that I had checks on the ready. Now, for the life of me, I can't remember why, but I opted for... I think I didn't want to give this check because it forces them to defend the pawn. And although pawn is not a big thing, but if I can't win this f4 pawn, then I can't attack on the F file, and then it will be hard to justify the piece. So I went this way. And now, actually, I remember this, and I think I'm wrong on this one. But here I wanted to sack and then sack. And again, I honestly have no clue if this is playable or not. But now that I'm seeing that Queen E3 check is on, I doubt that this is okay. So Queen E6. Or 7. And now I don't have any checks, right? So check is not on, check is not on. Yeah, I feel like I'm dead, yeah? Yeah. So that was my plan. I wanted to take on F4 here. Perhaps I need to play knight E4 first. Can I do that? Ah, Queen C6 reigns on the party hard. So I actually don't know what I needed to do here. So knight C3, knight E5. Oh yeah, I needed to go this way and then here. And it turns out that I can actually take this because the pin. And now after King G7, I can take this. Wow. And now I can do what I wanted to do in the game. That is awesome, man. That is awesome. And if Queen E7, knight D5, and white is winning. Mind-boggling stuff. King's Gambit for president, baby. Look at that. Queen E6, check, check, check. And this is a very famous ending. Shirov had a similar game when the king walked here and got mated. I'm a rook and a bishop down. And mate on F8 is unstoppable. Thank you very much for coming. Do so again. Wow. And if the king goes here, rook F6, and that's all she wrote, right? Turns out rook F4 is more accurate. After all, we are playing for mate. Insane stuff. There's so much I didn't see. Anyway, so I went for my wrong queen check and my wrong d4, and here the opponent just fell apart. So okay, this is definitely very poor play by black here, because he just missed that I can take this, and this endgame is just not tenable. But wait for it, because after he blunders a piece, he actually walked into this absolutely beautiful and breathtaking mate. Oops. Okay, this wasn't that great, but still, I really enjoyed the process again. And the final mate is pretty epic too. And then came this. Last game. Really last game of the comp. In fact, you know how on Lichess, when you play a game, the very last game, often it finishes after the tournament is already over. That's what happened here. So I went like, okay, I really have to finish this fast. Really fast. My opponent stuffs up early by playing knight h6. h4 exploits the fact that now there is no pawn chain. And now the knight on g5 can't be hassled at all. So it's all over red rover. After f6 takes... There was a Morphy game like this too, by the way. I remember that. And Morphy took with the bishop and then played... Well, I can take this piece, but he didn't. I remember that. I did look up a fair few Morphy games for my next course that I am preparing right now, and that's how I'm very well versed with Morphy stuff, by the way. Anyhow, took it at c6. I'm like, yeah, okay, this is gonna be fun. Bishop on d6 just shut down everybody forever. And here I already saw the mate motif, at least. So I knew that this could come to an end very quick. Rook e7, only move to hold up. Takes. And I regret to say that here I didn't pause to see what the fastest way to win was, which was castles. But here I went for it, and the mate is breathtakingly beautiful. He played knight a7, and he resigned after bishop takes f7. Now the point of this move, apart from the obvious that if knight takes, then this is mate. Not an everyday mate pattern there, but hey. The point is that if he doesn't take it, but, I don't know, plays whatever, whilst obviously all bishop checks are winning, but I had this beautiful mate prepared for him. Check, takes, and mate. And that would have been the last double hand shot in the air. Unfortunately, he resigned after bishop takes f7, but that was the end of the King's Gambit tournament for me. yeah, if you want to check out my games, actually I will put them in the description below so that you can see all the games I played in this tournament. But yeah, boy, it felt like being reborn again. Like I got a really keen interest for just playing chess for fun, occasionally chucking on all pieces and chucking in all the pieces and see if the attack breaks through, and if it does, awesome. If not, then whatever. I did notice in the last couple of recordings when I played Blitz and some of the inside my head that and there were some comments made on the channel about the fact that I take myself a little bit too seriously, and more commentary and less focus on winning these games would be probably better. And so this whole shebang just opened my eyes to that. Once again, I don't want to sound fake, so maybe if I didn't win every single game now, I wouldn't be making this video about how awesome it was. But the fact that it was King's Gambit and sack mate, it really made my day. So needless to say that I was insanely furious for stuffing up the recording, and I hope that this at least a little bit makes up for what obviously would have been a far better content because it was live and I was excited and all that shebang. But yeah, hopefully you still appreciate the finest point of this tournament. So that's for now, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I will be back with more soon. Bye.